All right. The story goes like this. It was a story that was told to me by Rabbi Mendel Futerfas, and it's maybe more of a joke than a story, but it's very true. Very true. What's the story? That once it was a very simple Jew, and he was really not successful in anything. His parents didn't know what to do with him. He was a young man. He was in his 20s, whatever, and he just was, such a simpleton. And not only that, he couldn't work in a store. So they decided they're going to give him the simplest job they could possibly find, and that is being a wagon driver. Now, wagon drivers, like I said before, the wagon drivers just went from one city to the other. They would go there and they would come back. That's their job. They had a set route. They would go to the and this and they would come back. And that's what they do. The whole day they would just, they'll go on their horse and they look at the backside of the horse. That's what they did their whole life. But you had to at least know something. You had to know how to ride a horse. So you had to pass a test. You had to pass. First, you had to learn. You had to learn how to be a wagon driver, which meant you had to know how to control the horses, and you had to know how to put a horseshoe on the horse, and you had to know what happened if one of the wheels broke. And then that was and then you had to do a practical and then theory. They gave you a test. The other wagon drivers gave you a test. Now, the other wagon drivers weren't very intelligent themselves. That's why they were wagon drivers, but it was the simplest job you could possibly have. But nevertheless, our hero, our young man, his parents got a wagon driver to teach him the trade. And it took him a few weeks, but he learned. And he drove and he this. And then afterward, they sat and they said, okay, now we're giving you a test on theory. So what do you mean theory? So there's three questions I'm going to ask you. You can prepare. You can prepare the questions. One question is, he said, well, I think let's try. He says, one question is, how do you put the horseshoe on a horse? How do you hold on the horse? So the young man there were three elder wagon drivers sitting opposite him. They tried to act as austere and as wise as possible. Look, and they said he was sitting there and he was sweating, and he said, so what do you do? You I know what you do. You hold on to this horse's leg, and you have to bring the horse to eat food. So he's interested in eating the food. And you grab onto his leg and you get in the back and you do this. They say, very good. Okay. Now tell us, what do you do if the horse, what do you do if the horse starts to go crazy? What do you do? So he starts to think, what did I do? What did I do? This? Oh, I know what I do. He said, you hit the horse a few times and you say, whoa, whoa, calm down. And you stop the wagon, and you say, hit the horse a few times. You say, calm down. And then you go in front of him. If you want to give him a piece of sugar or something, okay, good. I said, what do you do if one of the wheels falls off? Third and last question. So he said, the wheel falls off. Oh, so he gave him the answer. So the three wagon drivers who were giving the test sort of nudged each other under the table. And they said, okay, now the last question, the most difficult. What do you do if all of the wheels fall off and the horse goes crazy and he drags the wagon into quicksand and this wagon sinks down, so the only thing sticking out of the sand is the horse's head and you sitting on top? What do you do then? So they figured the young boy will start to cry. He's no, all of a sudden he became very calm. So very simple. I jump off of my place where I'm sitting. I run around in front of the horse, look him directly in the eyes, and I laugh as hard as I can. So they said, what is that going to, I don't understand. Where did you get that answer from? What's that going to help? And he said, tell me, if I would cry, it would help. At least I laugh. What's the point of the story? The point of the story is that if you're in a difficult situation, is becoming depressed and crying is not going to help. Laughing might help, but at least it won't hurt. That's the example that Rabbi Mendel Futterfass told me about difficult situations in life. Have a good day with Mashiach now. See you, God willing, tomorrow, and we'll complete what we almost finished in Torah Or. Shalom Uvracha. We'll see, or maybe we'll do a sicha. We'll decide what we do. Good. See you tomorrow, 8:15.
Yeah.
Shalom. Have a good day.